there is the plague.
The plague is correct, and the plague has been spreading. We've been indoctrinated very effectively for over a century. As I look back, things that I thought were wonderful when I was young were indoctrination. I loved Star Trek. I go back and look at it now. I watch it because I still like the show. But I pay attention to what they're saying. Socialism is everywhere in Star Trek and in so many different movies and so many different places. The things I thought of even, and I'm a little bit old, even in school, in the undergrades, I was already being indoctrinated. Every single one of you here, every single one of us was being indoctrinated and we had no clue. Now, we, from this perspective, are getting to see it much more clearly because it's much more flagrant.
This is Capital TV.
Since the dark days, our great nation has known only peace. Ours is an elegant system, conceived to nourish and protect. Your districts are the body. The capital is the beating heart. Your hard work feeds us, and in return, we feed and protect you. But if you resist the system, you starve yourself. If you fight against it, it is you who will bleed. I know you will stand with me, with us, with all of us, together, as one. Pan Am today, Pan Am tomorrow, Pan Am forever.
If you resist, you starve, you bleed. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Movies often have great underlying truths in them when you learn to look. Pan Am, from the Hunger Games in 2012, the super rich, the super pampered, the elites, they live behind the gates, like that first video, high-tech luxury. But most of the population lived behind bars. They lived in poverty. They barely survived. Locked away, intensively populated people zones. Stack them, pack them, control them. Have you heard any of that through Agenda 21?
Yep.
This was a portent. The name is from a Latin phrase, Pan Am et circenses, I hope I said it close,
Circenses.
bread and circuses, derived from Romans, meaning give the people diversions, distractions, hide what is being done. Seem familiar?
Yeah.
Like the plan imposed through the United Nations, called Agenda 21 and now 2030 Agenda. Two related themes: sustainable development and biodiversity. All food, water, medicine, everything in life, completely rationed and controlled. Total control of our lives and our deaths. I hope I'm scaring you, frustrating you. This is the background. Using the mark of the beast. In all of today's technology and surveillance, our Social Security, that's one of the major things they started. Maybe even the jab. warehoused, controlled from birth. We aren't citizens. We are pieces of paper and numbers in a warehouse that they own because we let them. It's already achieved. Please, when you see things, pay attention. Totalitarians quietly push us into just such a world. AOC that you saw up there, Warren, all of them. Happening all around us. Most people don't see it. Younger people don't see it because they've been conditioned to understand and believe it. They don't connect the dots. They don't see the picture. They see the individual little pieces, but they don't connect the dots. They live in their own little world. I do. I did more so for a long, long time, until I'm not woke, but I am awake. There's a difference. Focus on just a few subjects, few interests. Oblivious to the government manipulations, with a distorted view of what's happening. They cannot see the larger tapestry. That movie, Wanted, was another thing that showed the subversive group and how they decided who would live and who would die. It is time for humanity to have a fundamental reassessment of reality. Not a fundamental change, but a reassessment. We must look at things differently with a wiser eye, mind, heart, and soul. We are in the middle of an emergency. We're on the brink, people. We're on the brink. We can pull back, but we have to be courageous to do so. Learn the history of conspiracy. It is a long-planned destruction of American values. It actually started the days after they developed the Constitution. That's when people actually began going, you know what? I want to have more control. I don't want to do it that way where everyone has control. But they've been doing it most effectively in the past century. Understand the past to understand today's issues and tomorrow's dangers. This is and has long been war. It is the danger zone. Know that. We didn't know we were at war, but we have been. They knew. So, I'm going to give you lots of details now. That was the background. A little scary, I hope. If you're old enough, think about the changes we experienced over time relating to these goals and threats that I'll be showing you. If you're not old enough to remember it, consider how these concepts rule today's society and everyone's future.
5 major threats.
These are the 5 major threats I'm going to go over. Communism, Alinsky's 13 rules for radicals, Islamic law, the Jesuit Code, and Agenda 21 2030. 5 major documents. What I have done, I'll go through this, is the first thing I was told to do is to take those 5 areas and break the Constitution down into individual statements. Then number each of these other 5 areas. Give them a number. And then on the right-hand side, it shows which one of these philosophies, ways of life, rules, attacks, have attacked our Constitution. So you can go through, and if you look at anything that's over on the table there, you can see how Agenda 21, communism, Jesuits, all of them have attacked which part of the document that is sacred to us as the document that gives us freedom, rights, and God's protection. You need to know how they're attacking. That is how you can listen and fight back. I do have some thumb drives over there with this presentation, with that poster, and all of these documents on it. It's $5, just gives me